regarding the game, I thought it was a really good win for us. Guys played well. When you have 23 assists on 25 made field goals, that's tremendous. Really proud of our young men, the way we shared the ball. Thought everyone came in, did a great job. I thought Shaq's energy was terrific. Joe Jackson, 7 assists. Jaron Johnson, 7 assists. Michael Dixon, 5 rebounds. And I'm on Michael Dixon like a hawk on those, on the glass. And Chris Crawford obviously made big shots. And I thought everyone came in and just contributed. Really did a nice job today. South Florida's a good basketball team. I'm a big fan of Coach Stan Heath, and I mean they're big, they're good. I know they've been hit a little bit of the injury bug, but they are a very good team and very well coached basketball club. Very, very well coached. And when you're making some shots like we did, that helps stretch some things. And but I was proud of our defense, but mostly 23 assists on 25 made field goals. That's a great stat.
Coach, how much better is your team when you're making outside shots like that? Or I guess how much easier does your offense flow?
Well, when we're making shots, then there'll be less articles, people taking shots at me. You know what I mean? It's pretty simple. And I say that jokingly, but I mean it's the truth. When you make shots, coach looks good. When you don't make shots, coach doesn't look good. I mean it's that simple. I've said it, and I know people say, well, that's just an easy thing to say. No, it's not. I mean, that's basketball, is making shots. When you make shots, it opens things up. It's important for your offensive spacing. You've got to be able to make the three-point shot. It's imperative. The three-point shot is the whole key to the game in this day and age on terms of both defending the three and making the three. I mean, it's the equalizer and or the difference maker.
Josh, they were able to hang around early on when it was a half-court game for them with their big guys who don't really move good up.
Well, we also missed a lot of free throws in that stretch.
But you then started to quicken the pace. You pressed a little bit. You forced some turnovers. Once you got it to your pace, you were running them up and down.
Yeah.
And it was your game.
Well, we played – we wanted to press after the free throws, but we were missing a lot on the second one or missed front ends. We couldn't set up our press. And again, to set up your press, you got to make shots or it's got to be a dead ball situation. And we went back into zone, and we did a good job on the zone. We just could not. We left a lot of points on the table, basically, and that's a credit to South Florida doing a good job defensively. And then we missed some free throws, but obviously the more possessions it's good for us, and we were able to quicken the pace, like you said. But more than that, we played with great energy. As you all know, I've said it 1,000 times. I mean, I'm a big believer in energy, and our energy today. Because at this point, it's not about the X's and O's. It's going to come down to the Jimmies and Joes getting the job done, and the Jimmies and Joes getting the job done is going to come down to them getting the energy, having the energy, and the right energy, the positive energy. And when that's happening, they get an extra pep in their step, and they're focused. It just makes us that much better.
And Coach, once y'all got y'all first conference home win of the season against Houston, it seems like this team is starting to click. The threes for Chris Crawford was falling today. Shaq, always the energy guy. He started off good. So what did you tell them after that Houston win, for this to finish this stretch out and go on a high streak going into
it's before the Houston game. We talked about it. I mean, we're talking before the Houston game, we had 14 regular season games left. Now we're down to 12, 480 minutes left. And I keep telling our guys, it's at this point right now, I mean, things go by quick. You saw the article on Joe Jackson this morning, written by Jeff Calkins. He talked about where Joe talked about how everything's a blur right now. Everything's a blur. I mean, it's gone by quick. And I always talk to our guys about an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of appreciation, not an attitude of entitlement. And when you have that right attitude, you don't take things for granted. You play with better energy because you appreciate being on the floor. You appreciate wearing the jersey. It's just a different mindset, and that's easier said than done. It's way easier said than done to be able to have everyone on the same page on that. But we're getting better. We got to sustain it and continue to have the right mindset.
Coach, they got off to a great start on the glass. How were you guys able to turn that around? I know you mentioned Michael's 5 rebounds, and obviously Shaq had 10. But how do you change?
Well, I thought Austin second half, even though he had 2 rebounds, he was physical the second half. That was a big difference. Second half, he was way more physical, Grant, and he came with two monster rebounds, and he ran the floor. He was physical. That was important. But I thought our guard rebounding was the key. You know, Shaq obviously, but you know, Michael Dixon, who I've just been on like a hawk, like I said earlier, about his defensive rebounding and 50-50 balls. He got in there, stuck his nose in, and came up with 5 of them. And you know, that was a big thing. Guard rebounding is everything. Guard rebounding is the key.
As a follow-up too, a lot of people thought that this team was not going to be a good rebounding team, but now if you look at the numbers in AAC play,
I think besides the second half versus UConn, and I think that's it. That's the only. I mean, we lost the rebounding battle in the UConn game, but it was at second half, and then Lemoyne, I think we had +1, but other than that, we have won the rebounding battle for a while now. We got to keep that going.
With the boot camp and then these last 2 games, do you feel like the defense is getting back to being a strength for your team?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting better. I still think we're not out of the woods. We got to keep defending. I mean, we got 12 regular season games left. You know, like I said, 480 minutes, and it's all about defense. I mean, we've got to have the right energy, the right just focus defensively, and it's the little things. And it's not as much on strategy, on the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmy and Joes, getting the job done. Where I keep telling them the cream rises to the top. At this stage right now with our guys, the cream's got to rise, and they got to get the job done. And that's going to come down to just flat out energy. When you have that energy, you have that extra pep in your step. You got a different mindset, and you can have the right focus. So those are the things, and it starts with defense. And we are a better team when we feed off our defense to get our offense.
How do you think Nick and Karan Iverson are playing, and what do you see in terms, going forward, how important they might eventually be?
Well, I thought both guys did a very nice job. Nick came in, got us, got a couple buckets that kind of helped us get the lead there, stretch the lead. I thought Karan came in, was active on the glass. He had 2 steals, 2 boards. I think both guys, you can see, are continuing to get better. I thought Dominic Woodson in the second half there gave us some, good time. You can see his skill set. Dom Woodson's skill set. He's going to be very, very good. But Karan and Nick both gave us good minutes, and they'll continue to give us good minutes. They just got to continue to be ready, and that's kind of where it's at. They're practicing better, and that's a big thing too.
Just talk about Joe the last couple of games. He only attempted 4 shots, field goals, but he really felt like he controlled the game for a second.
Joe was terrific. Joe was terrific on Thursday. He was terrific tonight, and because of his energy. It's what it is. When he's an energized guy and he's got that extra burst of speed, it's just he's a different player. So it all comes down to energy. He's the X factor. Yeah, we've had communication and dialogue, but I just think it's just realizing, okay, it's crunch time, and Jimmy's and Joe's got to get the job done at this point of the year, and that's what it comes down to.
Josh, the great George Klein wants me to ask you a question. What did you give your wife for her birthday?
Well, great question. My wife's birthday was yesterday, and all I wanted to try to give her for her birthday was 2 wins. I joined her for dinner last night. She was with some friends. I popped in for like 20 minutes, had a quick bite with her, but I had to go back to films, and I did not get her anything other than the 2 wins. And so, I'm not, and that's the truth. And trust me, what does she want? She wants some wins, because she doesn't take it for granted either. So that's just that. And honestly, I mean, that's the darn truth. I mean, I said, hey, the best present I can get you is try to win on Thursday and win on Sunday. Bottom line.
Coach, you guys now head back out on the road for the first time in a while. What is it about this team that you guys have had so much success on the road, and the fact that the players seem to just love playing away from home?
Yeah, I mean, we play a tough game on Wednesday at Central Florida. I mean, Donnie Jones, who's just a dear friend, and love Donnie. I mean, they've got good players. I mean, Isaiah Sykes, who's just a triple-double type of guy. And, I mean, they've got a very good team, very well coached. They run a lot of good stuff, and it's going to be, packed there when we play them. So we're going to have to bring our A game, and we know we're going to have to be really, really good. I mean, when you're on the road in conference play, it's just hard. And then, obviously, in this American, everybody's very good.